Hi, welcome to the video conferencing overview. Today we'll be comparing the apps, their setup, and features. This presentation was put together by Jessica Cardenas, myself, and Eric Cavazos. We'll be looking at Zoom, Meet, and Teams. We'll be going in depth into what the app can offer your classroom and also how to set it up. So before we jump into the apps themselves, we want to think about why we want to use video conferencing for a distance learning classroom. Video conferencing can create a bridge to the classroom. It brings the out-of-class learning and in-class learning experience together. Students can collaborate and share. You can record lessons for students that aren't in attendance. And you can connect students with experts and let them view demonstrations. And finally, when it comes to guardians, you might be able to create connections with your guardians. Imagine like a parent-teacher conference through Zoom. One thing that you want to think about before selecting your video conferencing application is what is the format and what are the features that you need in order to create that format? What steps do students have to take to access the technology? And how will you teach the students about the app? How much time investment is that? Here's a quick side-by-side comparison. This will be available on the extras so that you can kind of have a quick cheat sheet for what each of the apps offers. So we're going to go ahead and jump into Zoom. And I'm going to show you how to create a Zoom and also what are the special features available. So how do you create a Zoom? Well, there are two main ways. You can go to zoom.com. It's actually zoom.us. It will redirect you. You can sign in. And if you click the sign in with Google, you can put in your school credentials. But since I've got an NEISD laptop here, I can download the Zoom app onto my desktop from the Software Center. And what that ends up doing when I launch the program is something like this. And so from here, I can schedule a new meeting. And this is for me to just start a meeting right away. I can join a meeting. I can share my screen. Or I can schedule a meeting. And so if I'm going to be scheduling a future meeting, this is the button I want to pick. It'll open a window like this, where you can enter the topic, enter your scheduling information, enter a password. It will require you to have a password for security purposes, and so you can actually customize that password. You can select how hosts and participants enter, what calendar to share it to, and there are some advanced options here like enabling a waiting room, which allows you to have students wait outside of the room and then you actually get to choose when they enter. I highly suggest it. And muting participants upon entry. So I can go ahead and schedule this meeting and it'll appear on my calendar and I can actually link it with my Outlook calendar. And so I can go into the meetings tab here and hear all of my future scheduled meetings. So now that you know how to create a Zoom, let's talk about the special features. These three special features are the ones that I feel are the most relevant to your teaching experience. And so when we think about that first consideration, like what format do I want to use for my class, these might actually be the thing that cause you to choose Zoom over some of the other applications. Zoom allows for breakout rooms. It allows you to actually create up to 6 breakout rooms, which means that you can group students before they enter the class or while you're in class. You can also change them around in the groups. Polling allows you to create quizzes or polls that students can answer, and it allows you to save their responses. Also, interactive whiteboard, which will allow you to literally draw on the screen while you're in the Zoom meeting. And if your students are at a computer, you can set them as hosts so that they can also draw on the screen. So how you do this is recorded in these 3 videos, which I've added to the presentation. And you can view those at any time. I will link this presentation inside of the extra stuff folder.
Hey everyone, Farah from Zoom here. On this brief video, we're going to show you how you can leverage our breakout room feature to take a large meeting or virtual classroom and split it up into smaller groups or sessions. You'll see that I have already enabled the breakout room feature, which you can find in your settings along the bottom. And that breakout room button will actually be right here. This is a button that only your hosts or co-hosts will be able to see. And right now we don't have a co-host in the session. If I manage my participants, I can hover over Catherine, for example, to make her a co-host. So she'll see this button now as well. When we're ready to split the group into smaller sessions, I can easily click this button to get a pop-up window asking me how many rooms I'd like to assign out and how many participants per room. For this example, it's recommending, since there are 6 people, we can split it up into 2 rooms. I can do this automatically or manually. So if we click on the automatic button, it'll generate those breakout rooms for us. Certainly if there's anyone I want to swap out, maybe I want to move Michael to the other room, I can exchange him for a different participant. Once I'm ready to open all rooms, I'll click this open all rooms button and our participants will be able to join the sessions that we've created for them. So we'll slowly see those people join. One thing that's really important to note is that as a host or a co-host, you can actually hop between the different rooms to talk to the participants. You can see here, I have the join button. Now everybody's left to go to the rooms. I can broadcast a message to everybody and say, wrapping up in 1 minute. And this will broadcast the message. And then I can close the rooms, which gives them a 1-minute timer to rejoin our session. We'll give everybody a second to rejoin, and I'll show you 1 or 2 additional features with breakout rooms. There we go. We can kind of see everybody kind of popping back in. Now everybody's rejoined the main session. You'll see that I have the opportunity to reopen these rooms again, which is really great. If you have a very long session or a very long virtual class, you can split into these virtual smaller groups as often as you'd like. And the additional options here will allow you to automatically close breakout rooms after a specified amount of time. You can also change the countdown timer to be 30 seconds or 2 minutes if you like. I'll show you a setting where you can also pre-assign folks to be in your breakout room before the classroom starts. You'll want to navigate over to the class that's already been created in your Zoom portal. Under the Meetings tab, you can find your meeting. Scrolling all the way to the bottom, you'll see if we open this to re-edit it, I have the opportunity to pre-assign a breakout room here. And I can create the rooms and upload a CSV with all of my participants in advance so that their names are already populated in the room when I start the session. That's basically how you can run breakout rooms. We hope you found this video helpful. If you have any additional questions, please visit us at support.zoom.us and review polling for your in-meeting experience or your virtual classroom. As the host, you can see that I already have a polling button built into the toolbar along the bottom. And when I click this, this will give me the ability to launch any polls that I've already set up between world history and US presidents in this example. When I'm ready to launch this poll for my class, I'll click Launch Poll button. And then I'll be able to keep track in real time as my participants are responding to the poll. So we can see here we have 2 questions basically around some of the wars from previous centuries. And we can see as the responses start coming in, I can see 2 out of 7 people have responded. And there's a timer up top too, so I can tell everybody this is a pop quiz. We have 10 more seconds for you to get your answers in. And then once those answers are completed, I can click End Poll. And we'll just go with what we have here. And so I can see that 60% of my class said 1914 for World War I, and that also 60% said Otto von Bismarck. What I can do from here is share the results to the class so they can see what the results are as well. And although this doesn't tell me who answered what, I can pull the report after the meeting has concluded to actually see who in my class responded correctly to the answer. When I click Stop Sharing, I will have the opportunity to relaunch the poll. It's very important to note here that if you relaunch a poll, it starts it from scratch, starts it from 0, and there's no way to pull that report from the first poll that you launched. Please keep that in mind. Now I've pre-created this poll. I've already added it from directly from the website. I'll share the web page here so you can see where you can find polling. From any meeting you've already scheduled, all you need to do is scroll to the bottom of the page to see any polls you've already created. You can edit them here, and you can also add additional polls here. Hope this video was helpful and gets you off to the right foot starting polls with your classrooms or your in-meeting experience. If you have any other questions, please check out our support page at support.zoom.us and have a great day. Thanks, everyone. And in this brief video, we're going to review how you can share content on your screen and annotate using our whiteboard capability and annotation tools. One thing I'll note here is that everyone has the share screen button built into Zoom. This makes sharing content seamless so that anyone in your meeting or virtual classroom can share content without having to pass presenter controls. We'll see the green share screen button built in to everyone's Zoom window. One thing that I love about the way Zoom does screen sharing is that you'll always have the opportunity to preview what you share before it goes live. When you click on the green share screen button, you'll get a pop-up window showing you what you can share. Any programs that are open on your screen will appear. So if you want to share something other than your full desktop, you can select an individual application like a PowerPoint or a web browser. If you'd like to share a video with sound, we have a built-in share computer sound and optimize for full screen video clip before you go to the web browser to play the video. We also have advanced sharing options built in case you'd like to share a portion of your screen, keeping the notes on one half and then sharing content from the other half. You can even share files easily from any file sharing services like Google Drive or Dropbox. Once you've selected what you would like to share, you can click the share button in the lower right-hand corner. Some of you may have also noticed that we had a whiteboard option, which I'll pull up on the screen now. And from whiteboard, this allows people to draw and annotate directly on the screen. We can see some folks have already found this option. What you'll see here is that we have a toolbar that allows you to type in text. You'll have drawing options for specific shapes, squares and circles. We can see someone found the stamp tool with the hearts and the arrows, and Catherine and Robert have also found their arrow tool to annotate. As the host, I can save this image to review later, and I can also clear everyone's drawings. And just to review what that looks like, I'm going to go into full screen sharing mode again. And I'm going to click on annotation to get the toolbar. So here you can see where I can toggle between my mouse and my draw tools. So I have the text tool, draw tool, stamps. And if folks were to start drawing on this screen share right now, under my more options as the host, I can show the names of people that are annotating. So if Catherine were to click on her arrow that has her name in it, if Carly were to draw a circle on my video or a crown, we'd be able to see Sam's name over here when he's drawing his name. And so this is one really cool feature. So you'll always be able to identify who is annotating in your session. Also, if you decide that you don't want people to annotate, you have the control to disable annotation from your attendees while still giving you the ability as the host to draw directly on the screen like this. One other thing I'll review with you, going back to our screen sharing options, since anyone does have the ability to seamlessly share, you can use a setting with the up arrow next to screen sharing. Again, you will only see this up arrow if you are the host of the meeting. And this will allow you to go to advanced sharing options where you can restrict who shares to just the host. If you do want to have collaborative share, you can allow all participants to share, and you can restrict who shares when someone else is sharing and restrict it only to the host. So right now, if Robert or Carly tried to hit the share button, it would let them know that they have to wait until I'm done. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any additional questions about screen sharing or annotation, please visit our support page at support.zoom.us.
All right, so now we're going to look at Google Meet, how to set it up, and some key features.
To start a video meeting from Google Meet, in a web browser, enter meet.google.com, click Join or Start Meeting. You're also going to add a nickname for your meeting. I used Art1. Next, you're going to click on Join Now. After you join, you are going to add people to your meeting. Adding people to your meeting is very easy. You're going to enter the name right here. And since it's in your G Suite, it's going to provide the names of your coworkers or students that are affiliated with your G Suite.
So one thing to note about Google Meet is that you can set up Google Meet inside of your Google Classrooms. And the way that you can do that, notice I've got a link here with a video icon next to it, which means I've already gotten this set up in this classroom. And so the way I can make sure that it's set up is using the wheel button, the gear button. And then when I go down to the settings in this classroom, I can toggle on and off this Meet link, and that will make it visible to my students. And so this is one clear advantage that Google Meet has over the other apps, is that if you're using a Google Classroom, it's embedded within.
Now let's discuss some key features. In Google Meet, you have a limited number of meetings that you can use between coworkers and students, and you can invite up to 100 participants. I think they might have changed that to 200. You can also have live captioning during your meetings, and Google Meet is compatible across the board. Video and audio preview screen is very important, so before your meeting gets started, you can check yourself, make sure your hair is right, make sure your look's right. Also, you can make sure that your audio is up to par. In Google and Microsoft Office apps, so it's very easy to add someone to a meeting or to add a new meeting to your calendar.
So the Google Meet platform is very simple. And it starts with basically just this holding room. It's not a waiting room. This is something that you can see only. Unlike Zoom, you can't allow or disallow people into the room like a waiting room. But it does have like a place for you to check yourself before you start the meeting. So you can join now. And it's just got a really simple design. There really isn't a lot to it aside from having chat. One clear thing that is better about about Meet rather than Zoom is that you can turn on automatic captioning. And so it will actually type out what it is that you're saying. This is a great feature for you if you've got students that are hard of hearing or just do better when they can read the screen. So if you'd like to learn more, there is an in-depth video nested into this presentation, which we will share in the extra stuff folder.
Now let's discuss Microsoft Teams. This was pretty brand new to me, so it was something that I haven't used before. But looking into it, what I noticed is it's a little bit different from the others. There is some similarities, but there's a big difference. Now, how to set up a meeting in Teams. In the Teams app, they're going to want you to download the desktop app version, so it's easier. You're going to need to click on the calendar button on the left-hand toolbar, right there. Then you are going to, once you click on pick a time and a date, it's going to have a pop-up and it's going to ask you to fill out the information about the meeting. After you do that, it's going to set up your meeting on your calendar, and it's also going to ask you to start adding people to your team as well.
So Microsoft Teams is an application that Microsoft came out with to rival Google Classroom. It does a lot of the same things, but has all sorts of other features as well. In order to access it, you'll have to download the application from the Software Center on your computer. Once you get that, then you can open it and it'll look like this. You can add teams to this application the same way that you add classes to Google Classroom. And so when you add a team, it'll open up a screen for you to create the team, and it'll give you some options like a class, a professional learning community, staff, or other. So it really is geared towards education. Now, if I want to create a meeting that happens right away, I can click the Meet Now button. And I'm going to click on this so that I can show you exactly what the meeting would look like. So here is the meeting, and I can press Join Now. And it'll open up a screen. And it'll open up a screen that has all sorts of features on it. So there's a chat. I can raise my hand. There are all sorts of like background effects, like a black background blur. You can add a keypad, you can record, you can turn off incoming video. You can also share your screen. And a whiteboard. So this is kind of like Zoom in the way that it has tons of features that you can use with your classes.
Now, key features with Microsoft Teams is the group chat. This is one of the big things. It's all about that group chat. So in Microsoft Teams is essentially a central place for various working groups to instant message, collaborate, and share files. All message threads will be saved, allowing you to dive in and out of what you need to, with the addition of being able to break off certain parts of the conversation, minimizing confusion for other users when you're catching up with the chat. By default, conversations are public, meaning that they're visible to the whole team. However, private chats are also available. If there are a few recipients in the chat, you can get the attention of a particular person by simply using the @ symbol, just like Facebook or Twitter and other social media platforms. So this is one of those big ones that's different from the other ones. Now you can also customize your team and you can make it specific to what you need, all right? And that's by creating channels and specific topics. Also, you're going to notice they're going to be like tabs on the top. Now, when it comes to channels, that's something else that's different about this application. So let's say that I have my Art1, I can divide my Art1 into a meeting or a channel for a group project. And in that channel, the people that are in that group project can work on stuff and it's not going to show up on the mainstream. So these channels help you kind of divide the information up or divide the group up, or if you're working on a group project, it allows you to do that in an easier way. This app is also integrated into your Office 365 applications, so it's very easy to open and edit Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, stuff like that. Team meetings allow you to basically feel like you're in a meeting with someone. You're able to collaborate, you're able to do almost everything that you would have done in a regular meeting, but via online. So another thing about Microsoft Teams that's a little bit different is it allows you to make it fun. You can add memes, it has GIFs, it has customized stickers, and it also allows you to customize your memes to make it more relevant. Like the other programs, this one is available on mobile apps. It's a mobile app as well, so you can take it anywhere. And they also pay a lot of attention to security and compliance, so the information that you're putting on here is all encrypted.
As I said, this is an all-encompassing application that's not just about meetings, but it is a tool that you can use within that application. If you'd like to learn more about Microsoft Teams, we have included a video. You can access that video at any time. Thank you for joining us for the overview of Zoom, Meet, and Teams. You can view the resources in this presentation at the link on the right of the screen. We'll also include it in the extra stuff. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you found out a little bit more about what video conferencing applications and features are available to you. Thanks.